Yeah,
Mothership.
should be fixed now.
Yeah.
Gene was handling it, so I don't know. Might be she might have done something to it.
So man, I'm full of vinegar and piss and ready to talk about
Cool.
whatever.
I got lots of stuff to talk about, dude.
Yeah, man. A big week.
It's a huge week.
Not even for games, just a big week in general. You know, thinking about a lot of stuff, got a lot on my mind.
Yeah. What? Like what?
White noise.
Whoa.
Yeah, you ever use what like
White
white
noise
noise?
machine? Yeah, I have
Yeah,
white. We have two of them. They're great.
like machines.
Yeah, a little white noise machine.
Why don't you just use like a free app on your phone?
Because then the phone's going to be plugged in next to you all night long. I don't know. Because it'll drain my battery.
Are you afraid of radiation?
Nope. I just don't want the phone to be charging all the time. I don't know. Maybe it'll go. Maybe the battery will explode. I don't know.
You don't charge it at nighttime?
I don't always have to. I do it if I have to, but it's white noise machine. I think it's a little more like it's not coming from a speaker. I think it just like has a different
Okay.
ambience to it. I guess you can adjust it a little bit, but yeah, no, it's good either way.
This is a new world for me.
Yeah. Why? Well, you have noisy neighbors, right?
Yeah, am I allowed to say? I was gonna say shithead neighbors, but I don't want to. It's not that I hate the guy.
That's always a good way to start a description of somebody.
Well, it's not though. Like it's
No, I
not
know.
that I hate him. It's just
Right.
we're at different places in our life, and I'm
Different
not at the
cultures,
place
different.
where I need to,
Mhm.
make a lot of noise and smoke pot in my garage
Right.
like 4 or 5 times a day.
Yeah. It's called self-medicating, Chris.
Yeah, sure it is.
Yeah, with the times.
Self-medicating in like your late 20s.
Mhm. So the white noise is working out?
I haven't used it. It's not for me. I can't sleep anyways, and so this is probably not good for me. But I was listening to podcasts to help me go to sleep.
Like with headphones in?
Yeah, I put in earbuds,
Oh.
and I know it's probably not great. But
Why can't you sleep?
I
Doctor
think
mode engaged.
I think too much.
Yeah.
And if
You don't
I'm
drink coffee, do you?
no,
Hmm.
it's not a matter of not being able to sleep. It's not like a physiological thing. It's a psychological thing.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I got too much going on.
Mm-hmm.
And so nighttime is when it comes out.
Right.
And so if I'm listening to a podcast, then
Distracts you. Mentally. Yeah.
So I got to find like the perfect podcasts to listen to, which are like not super interesting, but also not super boring.
Right. It's interesting. Like some nights, if I have a problem that I'm thinking about, but like not a problem that affects me, like a theoretical problem, like for example, when I was playing that game Shenzhen IO, I just think about the problem, like how would I solve that, and it's just fun. It's like relaxing, but it occupies my brain in a way that's it's more than just like random thoughts. I like those kind of things. That sometimes helps me if I'm really finding it difficult. But I usually fall asleep pretty well these days, other than the sleep apnea thing. But I just use a mouth device, pulls my jaw forward, keeps my tongue from choking me.
It seems that everybody has sleep apnea now.
Yeah, I think a lot. The awareness in the medical community has that's part of it. It's jumped up quite a bit.
I don't have sleep apnea.
Good. Did you get tested?
I had cancer instead.
Thank you. I'm not trading with you. No, thank
you. Have I been tested? No, but it's not. I don't have a problem sleeping. I sleep quite well.
Don't worry about it. Yeah, then
I'm not worried about it.
Yeah. Don't worry
about it. It's the sleep trigger. That's what I don't know what the doctor word for that is, but I find the trigger sometimes is hard to set off.
Mm-hmm.
But once it's done, I'm out.
Right.
And I'm not a very light sleeper.
Oh, that's good. I am. So
yeah.
One of the problems people typically have with it when they wake up in the middle of the night, and you may do that. You probably don't do this, but some people do it. So the feeling that you feel the moment you wake up, like sometimes you're feeling groggy, sometimes you feel alert, right? There are people that no matter what, whenever they wake up, let's say they wake up and then they also look at the time, which you shouldn't really ever do.
That's what I do.
Yeah. So what people will do is they'll wake up, it'll be 3:30 a.m. and then they'll feel groggy in that moment. And they'll think, well, this must mean I have had a bad quality sleep. I'm going to feel like crap tomorrow as a result of this. But what the reality is how you feel the moment you wake up is to do with the phase of sleep you're in. And that varies, especially it varies the most towards the early morning. So you wake someone up time 0 or time 3 minutes or time 5 minutes, they could be in a totally different phase of sleep. And if they're in dream phase, you wake them up in dream phase, you feel pretty alert and awake because it's almost like a similar state of your brain being in awake state. So I tell people, don't make a judgment call based on the quality of your sleep, how you feel in the first 5 minutes. You can judge it at 30 minutes or an hour after, but don't go into like panic mode or snowball yourself into a shitty day because you felt groggy the moment you woke up. It has nothing to do with your sleep quality.
I snowball myself into having a shitty day, not by sleep quality, but by waking up.
Me too. Sometimes happens.
And it's not due to lack of sleep. It's due to like lack
living
of happiness.
Being alive. Being alive is a snowball effect.
The problem is I don't have a lack of being alive.
Crap.
Oh man.
Do
you find that you're getting tired?
I'm actually not bad, and this week,
like life tired though. Like I think about people who come to like end of life.
Right. They look tired.
Well, no, and you know how some people are like, you know what, I just don't want to do this anymore, and I feel like I can almost sympathize a little more the older I get.
Right. Sure.
I wouldn't be surprised that at 60, 70 years old, I'm ready to die.
Yeah, sure. I'm sure some people get to that point.
Yeah.
And it's a natural thing, right? You're like, okay, I'm good.
That's
it's enough. It's like an I'm good feeling. Like, that's fine.
Yeah.
But I think it is tricky because sometimes that can be due to a lot of other factors, right? So it's sort of tricky to evaluate it, right?
Yeah.
Right. So there's people that are I can tell that that from my perspective, you seem to go through cycles of that.
Of wanting to die?
No. Of being like, nothing's interesting. And
oh yeah, for sure.
You know what I mean?
For sure.
And I think everyone does that.
To be honest, for me, I think it's based around time of year.
Yeah.
This year, I really, really struggled with the seasonal stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, they say there's some evidence for those really bright luminosity.
Norwegian, whatever thing, right?
As long as you have a certain amount of lux rating on the light, if you expose yourself to it, it can sometimes help.
I think the problem is that, I don't know. Do you think, I don't want to say so deep as depression, but do you think that like being in a shitty mood all the time, and I'm sure that this is how depression works too, I think that I get pretty self-destructive. Not in a it sounds from this podcast like I want to kill myself. I'm not there.
No, I don't think he's there.
No, that's not where I am. But
but you never know.
No, of course. You know what do they say? But if you talk about it, that means that you're like probably not, right?
Yeah. Although friggin' Jay Cheel these days, like for the past,
I worry about that guy
so much. Me too.
I really like that dude.
Yeah, me too.
I like all those dudes.
Yeah,
they're good dudes.
Good dudes.
I wanna live for them.
I like good dudes.
That's the only thing pushed me to stay alive is Film Drunk.
That from podcasts.
If you haven't listened to Film Junk podcast, man, those guys are the greatest.
They're pretty good. We still got to make it down for
drive-in.
Well, drive-in.
Yeah, man.
Gotta do that. We'll do that this summer. Yeah.
This summer. Get some poutine.
Get some poontang.
Yeah.
Poutine.
I don't think you can do that anymore.
Anyway, what were you saying? We kind of got off topic.
No, now we're back to wanting to kill myself. Unrelated.
Oh God.
So white noise.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's all it is. Just so with the neighbors, I'm fine with it because I don't hear anything anyways because I have my earbuds in. But Fanny won't do it, and she's really upset about noise and stuff. And so I started downloading a bunch of apps and see. So maybe we'll try it tonight and see if
Yeah.
it helps at all.
Yeah, you could do that, or I mean, yeah, the ones that we got are really good, and they've lasted for years. Or from Bed Bath and Beyond, they're like 40, $50. They have a couple different settings.
I wonder if you could use Alexa or Google Home to do it for you.
You could, but I just feel like coming out of a speaker wouldn't be as good. But maybe it would be. I don't know.
Do you have one of those things?
What? No,
Like Alexa or Home?
no, I don't want Google in my home and listen to everything.
You ever use it? I don't know.
Not that they already don't know exactly what I'm doing.
Yeah. Yeah. But I like to at least like give myself the illusion that
Yeah. Instead of installing a giant eye in your
I
phone.
don't want to willingly like completely give it up.
Yeah.
I guess now's a good time to introduce the show.
Okay.
Right
ahead.
So this is Link Cable Podcast, episode 70 for April 23rd, 2018. My name is Chris.
And my name is Tim.
And Keenan is away this week. I'm busy doing something.
Busy posting anime links on our Facebook page.
I didn't see it. What is it?
Didn't you comment on it?
Did I?
You did. You said, just so you're aware, this is Keenan posting.
Oh, that was like last week, right?
What is it? Well, yeah, I don't check Facebook very often, so
yeah. He
just saw it now.
Yeah.
He's infecting us with anime.
I
don't watch it.
I beat because of 6.
What the hell? No wonder you didn't respond yesterday when I was like, my brother is playing Monster Hunter. Can you get on here and squat him?
I was busy.
Yeah, clearly.
So
a short game, huh?
Nope. Nope. you know how I play video games.
Yeah. Cool.
It was good. I think a lot of people are really into the story. I thought the story was kind of dumb. I wasn't so into it.
Right.
But the game itself is like really fun.
Excellent.
Like the mini stuff, the side stuff. This is not really considered spoilers, but what I'm gonna talk about just for a couple minutes is the mini games within Yakuza. Mm-hmm. There's always like little mini games and stuff you can do. And so if you want to be completely unspoiled, then skip ahead like a minute or something, 2 minutes. You can manage a baseball team, which is like the most fun thing ever. Like you walk around and you like recruit people for this baseball team, and then you can like it's a full on like manage edit thing where you can put them in different positions and you can level them up, and they have like their own stats for what position they play. And then when you play games against other teams, it's almost automated. Except for now and again, it'll pop up and then you take control of the batter, and then it goes into the same mini game as the home run, like the batting cages.
Oh, yeah.
So good. So good.
That sounds cool.
Really
can you run it? Can you run a ramen shop?
You can in Yakuza 0.
Right. Man.
Not in 6. The other thing
that's just pulled that out of my ass, and you can do it.
Yeah. The other one that's really good is there's one called, I think it's called Free Chat. And the idea is that you go to an internet cafe, and then you chat with hot girls online.
Okay.
Actually, this is like last week. Like last week, we were talking about that like sex chat thing. Yeah. No. Like that girl who had that menu.
Oh, right.
So something similar where you log in and there's a girl that's wearing all her clothes. And then you chat, and then she'll like slowly take her clothes off.
Oh my God.
And even creepier is that it's not like modeled, it's a video of like a real life person doing it.
That is creepy.
It's really messed up. But it's a bunch of dudes in the chat room, and so it's hilarious because
they're saying
they're all saying stuff, and
that sounds amazing.
And then the mini game is that, and this is really cool, and I think this is where the picture from a couple months ago came from.
Okay.
Remember that like it was like a meme thing going around a little while ago that said, what did it say, like rub on your tits, something. Fuck yeah. Do you know which thing? I'll put a picture in like.
Oh my gosh, that was the wrong thing. I just blindly Google image search that phrase.
I'll set rub
Don't
on your
do that.
tits. Okay, I won't do
I
it.
thought it would come up as a meme, and I thought like, what did I expect that was differently than what I just saw?
I
Okay,
don't know. I'll see if I
now
can find
Google
it.
knows that I searched for that phrase.
But the idea is that there's
Oh,
in this picture from a while ago,
yeah,
there's like 4 boxes in each box. One says, I think it says like rub on your tits. One says, I don't know, something about getting hard. I forget what it is. But then above the letters or below the letters, it shows a bunch of like button prompts for PlayStation. So it'll be like triangle, triangle, square, square, triangle X.
right.
Um, and I had no idea what it was, but it made me laugh so hard. And I think that it's I haven't gone back to look at it, but I think it's from Free Chat and Yakuza 6.
Really?
Because what the mini game is
Right.
that there's like preset canned responses that you have to give. You don't even get to pick what to say, but it's based on button inputs from the controller. And so if at the bottom it says, you know, let's see what's underneath, then you have to go and push the buttons for LETSSEE underneath, right?
Right.
And so it's great because then on the webcam on Kiryu's cam, it shows like a picture of him and he's like what do you call it? Hand packing?
Hand packing, like, yeah, I was just gonna say
Going,
that's amazing.
Like that. You push the button on the computers. Yeah. So it's hilarious. I was killing myself laughing at it.
That's pretty funny.
It's such a good game, but who is this game for?
Right. You.
Well, and that's it. Like this game is made for me. And I know that there's a bunch of other people to it. I think we even talked about it with Yakuza 0. But I remember Gareth saying once, like, I think it was Gareth saying, like, this game is made for, you know, our age dudes that I don't know. Nobody young is playing this game.
No. And I mean, you mentioned that mini game, right? And do you think that it's meant to be titillating? I don't think so, right?
No,
like, do you think it's meant to be a goofy kind of a joke, hilarious, like play on like what that character is like? It's meant to be another side of the character. And the game is directed against an audience that is supposed to be able to get that joke. That's your point. That's what you're saying. And I think I would agree from the sound of that, right? Everyone who's bought Yakuza 6 is in on the joke and gets it. And it's the designers did that on purpose. So
it's a lot
pretty
of fun.
funny. And then that's hard to do that, right? Like it's hard to do that kind of a
nail
joke
the tone that well
and do it in a way that the wrong audience doesn't see it and make a big deal of it too, like nowadays, right? Like, you know what I mean?
Well, and that's what I was thinking about when I was playing that mini game specifically. Like, how many people would be so angry to see this?
But none of those people are seeing it.
Yeah, because nobody wants to play this game.
No, they want to play Fortnite or whatever, right?
Apparently, it sold a ton of copies too. Again,
cool.
Like, yeah, because it's big in the West now, which is really cool.
Yeah, that's awesome.
You know, the one thing that I always have trouble with, and I actually like the way that Yakuza 0 did it, is the cabaret club stuff, like the hostess. Mm-hmm. I'm never into that. It's weird and I don't know, boring.
Right.
I don't get it. Whereas 0 was great because it was running the club, and I get that. But just going and attending is so strange. But I mean, didn't stop me from grinding out like 4 hours or whatever I had to do to max it.
Nope.
So yeah, it's very cool. There's a weird, like, it's almost like a not tower defense, but it's, I don't know, this weird like clan mode where you send guys out and they just beat each other. Like it's such a strange game. But it's good stuff. And it's cool to see, you know, the first Yakuza I played, 2004?
Yeah.
So it's been like almost 15 years of playing these games. And so it's cool as, you know, this one's Yakuza 6 called Song of Life is the subtitle.
Mm-hmm.
It's just characters are getting older, right? You can compare it to something like Dragon Ball, or that, like, you know, new characters added and they stick around and characters are getting older and then they have kids. And there's themes of relationship, especially relationship with your father.
Hey, we got another game this week that gets into that, but that's
right.
Cool.
That's right. So it's very cool, and it's I enjoyed it quite a bit. I thought that it was
as a dad, right? Like you get that. Yeah.
Yeah, it was a very good end cap to well, no, you know what? Not so much as a father, but
Mm.
it's almost like it explores relationships, like adult relationships with
Right.
your father,
Ah, okay. That's a
right?
bit
So
different.
not so much I didn't get so much the vibe of like being a father as much as I did having a father.
Hmm. I see.
Um,
Okay.
and how there's so many different kinds of relationships. It just
Mhm.
it's a special series, you know. I really dig it. So there
Cool.
you go.
Good. Sounds like a good, pretty stellar
Play
review.
Yakuza 6.
Right. Nice. Um, I played a bunch of things. Can go in order. Do you have anything else?
I don't think so. Did you play God of War?
I'll get into it. I'll
Okay,
get into
cool.
it. Not yet. I'll leave it till last.
Good. I you know what? I really want to play it. I'm not into God of War, but it looks
Mm-hmm.
cool.
Mm-hmm. I think I can. I might be able to sell you on it, but we'll
Sure.
see.
Tell me your other stuff.
So I reinstalled Minecraft this week to kind of. I found out about a mod pack called SevTech Ages, and it's this crazy huge curated mod pack that has like meta progression. So you start off in the Stone Age and you go to the Space Age, and it's really long. I just played a little bit of it because I've been watching some guys play like do let's plays of it, and it's a lot of fun. Like I don't know if I have time to like do it, but it's sitting there and I have that it's scratching that itch. And there's like if you played Minecraft since the day we played it, it's like a completely different beast now. There's so much stuff in it now. Like these mod packs are insane. It's really cool. So if anyone's sort of wondering about playing a cool Minecraft kind of experience, it's kind of like an adventure slash it has quests and you start off like it totally brings you through all these different ages. You start off with nothing but like caveman type weapons and different things and technologies and you work your way up and it's pretty cool. So yeah, I've played that for a night or two just on my own. Um, so it's pretty cool. You need a lot of RAM to run that game, though. There's a lot of stuff in it. I played Inside finally.
Link Cable podcast where we suggest you play Minecraft in 2018.
No, it's serious though, dude. It's fun, man. Like I'm it's on my mind. Like I kind of want to jump back into it. But anyway, played Inside finally. PS4 had it on sale. You mentioned it enough times where I was like, you know what, I got nothing I want to play that night, and picked it up and played through the whole thing and finished it at like 3 in the morning. um, so yeah, Inside. I think Keenan's played it too, right? Both you guys played it a long time ago.
I'm not sure if you did.
Yeah,
I assume so, but I don't know.
it's a bit of a mind fuck. That game. I mean, it's spoiler. Is it? Should we do spoilers? I mean, I think so, in case no one's played it, but it's been out for long enough. It's by the guys who did what? What was that game called? Um,
A Limbo.
Limbo. So it's got that side scroller, well animated kind of Prince of Persia kind of feel, jumping puzzles and doing whatever a normal person could do in an environment type thing with puzzles and stuff. And it's got this cool, creepy vibe with. So I didn't know what to think at the beginning. Like people are you're in a forest and you're a kid and people are trying to catch you and you can see other people are being caught by these weird people with masks and then later on you see people like voluntarily like running in the background or walking in lines and it looks really creepy. It looks like kind of like you start to think of those things like body snatchers and like the world's being taken over by aliens or some mind control devices. And there's some stuff like that in some of the puzzles even. And spoilers for Inside in the next 5, 4, 3,
And they're big spoilers too.
1. They're real big spoilers. You turn into a giant thing-like monster about 2/3 of the way into the game and start rampaging all over the place. And the people who are trying to stop you are now afraid of you and or helping you to escape this giant facility. You're like a conglomeration of bodies, and the movement is super cool. And some of the puzzles when you're in that form are pretty amazing. So it's such a shocker. Like the only thing is that I feel like it didn't go far enough. I have a commotion behind me. Sorry about that. Someone wants a blue one.
Somebody get that kid to shut the hell up.
So, uh, yeah, it's like I didn't think it should go. I didn't think it went far as I would have done it. Like I thought it was going to go full on Akira at one point.
It's pretty close though.
It does, but I thought you'd get bigger, and it would just like you just start consuming people and getting larger and start just killing people. You do land on, you kill some people by accident. You're sort of lumbering around like a big ball of goo with arms and legs, and then you escape from the facility, and the game ends. And the first thought I had was, this is a metaphor for conception and birth, like right away. I don't know if I was the only. It's called Inside, right? Like, I don't know if does that make sense to you? Did you think that at all?
I didn't.
Because you get inside that container, and other people are trying to get inside it too. They're all looking at the glass, right? The sperm and egg analogy, like it, and then you roll down the hill at the end, like on your way out, like it. You know what I mean? Like it's. And it sort of fits with like some people are being killed on their way there. Some people are trying to be captured by like maybe the immune system, right? In pregnancy, like there's all this kind of, you can think of so many metaphors in certain terms of physiology that match that. I tried to see if other people felt the same way, and I think some people thought that there was imagery in there that also matched that. So, but anyway, whatever it is, like you could interpret it multiple ways, but it was sure, like I would never have predicted that ending. Never in a million years.
Yeah, especially because I think Limbo was very safe.
I never played Limbo. I've seen parts of it, but
you didn't miss a ton. It's just, it's a platformer. You jump on shit.
Yeah.
Where like this was something.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's worth a play for sure.
Yeah.
So yeah, Inside's good stuff. And it's too bad because I almost wrote it off because Limbo was just, yeah, okay, fine, whatever. And then I'm not sure what compelled me to pick it up, but
yeah,
it did, and I did.
Well, you kept, even around that time, I kept hearing like people being like, people should play this. People really, really should play this. Like
maybe it was just buzz like that, and
yeah, it was sort of like even if you didn't like Limbo, this is different.
And I think, do you ever have that where every once in a while conditions line themselves up where just something happens that you normally wouldn't do? So say like that. I don't usually buy digital games full price unless it's something I've been really excited about.
Yeah.
But it was just, I was in the mood and I wasn't doing anything that night, and I felt like playing a new game, and I was hearing about Inside, and so let's give that one a go.
Yeah. When the stars align like that, like it's different for me because you were telling me to play it, but with you not really having as even high expectations, it must have been really cool because you sort of just did it on a whim. It's that expectation thing for sure. Like I was expecting I kept thinking like, what could it be? What could it be? What could it be? But even still, like nothing. Yeah, there was nothing that could prepare me for that. So it was pretty wild, pretty cool. Be interested to see what they do next, but yeah. You and me both played Monster Hunter World event, and that was a hell of a lot of fun.
Cool to do, but I don't know if I want to do it again.
I did it twice more, and it's still fun.
Yeah,
because you get better at it.
Yeah.
You
just do it on your own or in a group? Or
I did it with randoms. We're in a group, and we like people died a bunch of times. It's not that easy. Yeah. Well, it depends which weapon you have or whatever, how good people are. But
it felt really good to do with you and Natalie.
Yeah, it was fantastic. So for people who don't know, it's a big quest with a giant new monster in its own area, and it's like this multi-4 stage event where you're chasing it around, and then it moves to another area, and it has multiple phases, almost like a World of Warcraft boss or something like that, right? Like it has all these phases, different tricks and gimmicks per phase, and you work on the same quest with a group of three other people with 3 other groups at the same time. I don't get how that works, but the idea is the rewards are better when the more people are working on it simultaneously, and it's the only way you can get randomized or sort of semi-randomized weapons, kind of like those old weapons in Monster Hunter 4. I can't remember what those were now. The relic weapons.
Yeah,
get random.
They have the same kind of names.
Hmm. Yeah. So apparently, some people are saying like certain weapons in certain classes are better than any other weapon you can build now, but it depends on the weapon class. So whether you get it or not, I mean, the event's going to be around for a little while, and then it's probably going to come back periodically, I think. So people who miss on it now, case in point, my brother started playing Monster Hunter yesterday. I bugged him about it like a month ago, and he randomly texted me an image of the game downloading to his PS4. So I was pretty excited, and yeah, I walked him through some basics today, and he's trying different weapons out. He started on Greatsword, now he's playing Lance, and it's interesting to see his perspective because my brother, he's 7 years younger than me, and he's always kind of inherited or been interested in games that I had around, and he would play them later when he got old enough to play them. So he sort of was kind of following a lot of the stuff that I liked. So, but now his tastes are a bit different than mine, right? Like we like some things similarly, but not everything. So it was interesting to have him buy the game and seeing what he thinks. He's liking it a lot already. So I think he's in. So it's cool. I don't know if you have any like situations with people in your family or siblings who like have different tastes in game or similar tastes in game and games and what how that's impacted you or
Um, when we were younger, my brother and I used to play JRPGs together.
Mm,
Well, we would play like all video games together, but we JRPGs were kind of like our thing to do together,
cool, right?
Um, and then he got into high school and got too cool for video games for a little while,
Oh, okay.
and that's fine.
Yeah, sure.
Different strokes.
Yeah.
Uh, but now it's interesting to talk to him about video games because he's interested, but he won't play it because he has a self-identified addictive personality.
Mm,
Addictive, not
I see.
addicting, right?
Mm,
He's got an addictive personality, and so he's like, I can't play it because I know that it's not good for me.
mm.
So that's fine.
Yeah, fair enough.
Like in honesty, I could probably do with playing a little less video games too. But
Yeah.
the way I pitch it though, and to be honest, I don't know if I would play as much as I do if it weren't for the social aspect now.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's a lot easier to play Monster Hunter and Destiny than it is, something else
Sure.
for
Oh, yeah.
long periods because it's then I can sell it both to my wife and to myself as, this
Yeah.
is my outlet right now, right? This is
Yeah.
my
Yeah.
my hangout time.
Hang out with friends and stuff. Yeah. No, it's
But I think one of the other reasons I played video games is just the escapism, right? Like I get to not be me for a little while.
mhm.
Um, that's again, this leads toward
Chris doesn't want to be himself.
I don't want people sending messages after being like, "Are you okay, dude?" I'm fine.
um, maybe Keenan will have some stories. Maybe Keenan, if he's listening to this, he can think of siblings in video games or family members in video games stories.
You
for
need to
next
get them online. We got to get them on. Start spamming them messages and stuff. Even just come on for a short time.
No, he's not.
I
Gonna...
want to do that thing tonight, though.
Oh, yeah. I forgot all about that.
Let's do it anyways.
We can do it anyways. We'll save his.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, so he sent me that. Okay, never mind. Chris sent me a picture of that meme. Okay, so that's that. Monster Hunter stuff. Still digging it. It's going to be fun to play with my brother. And then on a whim, the day it came out, I bought God of War. What prompted me to buy it? Well, the reviews have been insanely high, which doesn't always sway me, especially for these AAA games.
Inflated or what?
No, not at all, actually. So it's actually amazing, and I'll tell you why. There's a lot of reasons why, for me anyway. What prompted me to pick it up was just that it looked like it was a different type of game. Like, and now I know why. Now, actually, after playing it, I know what actually was the trigger. So, listeners might know about one of my favorite games from a long time ago was Resident Evil 4. It was the first game that did the over-the-shoulder style controls with like enemies who can be a threat to you crowd control, always trying to have that awareness of where the enemies are, multiple tactical options in terms of combat, weighted attacks, like attacks that don't feel like you're doing nothing to the enemy, but like hitting the enemy in different spots does different things and has different purposes. So major Resident Evil 4 vibes in God of War. The camera position and the combat are all super deep, super visceral, and I'm using that word unironically. Um, it only opens up the more I've played it so far, and I've played it maybe 6, 7 hours, and I'm sure there's a lot left. Maybe I've been taking my time. I put the difficulty on hard initially, and I'm still on hard. There's a one higher difficulty that is apparently stupidly hard, but hard is actually quite hard, and I actually struggled in different parts of the game. But it wasn't like getting pissed off struggle. It was like I want to beat this. Like I want to try this differently. I want to figure this out because it's me who needs to get better, not the game's not being unfair. Um, it looks really good. The story seems really interesting so far. There's like a father son thing in it. I don't want to spoil much of it, other than it gave me major Star Trek Next Generation vibes from the character Worf and his son in a way that I didn't expect. The writing is really smart. It's funny. Uh, it's got a lot of progression systems and customization for the combat. Um, yeah, it's really doing it for me hard. It feels like a spiritual sequel to Resident Evil 4, and I thought I was the only one who thought that. It turns out that the game designer had that game in mind when he was designing the systems for God of War. So it's totally on purpose, and yeah, it's very exciting. There was even a thread like earlier this week on the exact same thing where someone was like, "This is reminding me of Resident Evil 4. Does anyone else think this?" And yeah, there's a good reason for that. So it's very very well deserving of its accolades, and it's not a short game either. Like it's apparently actually a reasonable length, so it's a good. It's not a 12-hour experience. It's supposedly like 20, 30 hours of solid stuff, and everything I've seen so far is really really good. There's puzzles. The puzzles are kind of cool, but the combat is where it's really free form and fun, and it's challenging. So yeah, anyone who's on the fence about it, this could be game of the year. Like this could challenge Monster Hunter World. Like it's really good. I mean, they're different games, right? Like I can't really compare them, but yeah, it's really really good. So that's the game.
You heard it here first.
Yeah. And I'm not a God of War person, right? Like I think I played a little bit of I don't know what 2 or 3, and I didn't really care for it. Like as far as those type of action games go, I liked the Devil May Cry series a bit better. Um, but yeah, and it's like all Norse mythology stuff, and I don't know why it is. Like I'm sure there's a story reason for it because I mean the other games are all Greek mythology related.
Is the reason because it's more interesting than Greek stuff, or they've kind of
That
on it?
that's one reason, but I think there's more to it than that I don't know yet. And the main weapon is very much inspired by stuff like that, and the mechanic around the main weapon, his axe, is phenomenal. So well done. So yeah, it's pretty badass, and you feel like a badass in a good way when you're playing it. Like the combat feels really crunchy and like,
What is it like to be a badass in a bad way?
in a bad way. Like if it's like the old God of the War games, like really over the top and nonsensical. You know what I mean?
Sure.
This feels earned. You don't feel like a friggin' like a ridiculous killing machine. Like you have to think. It's not just slam the buttons. And maybe the old ones were like that too, but this feels a little more. You feel like you're not unstoppable. Like you can die. At least playing on hard anyway. So yeah, I'm looking forward to playing a lot more of it.
There you go.
So yeah, that's other non-gaming related thing. I started friggin' YouTube holes. I started watching Gundam Perfect Grade build videos.
Cool. That's really
I'm not,
interesting. Is
I'm
that
not into Gundam. I
now?
don't
Listen,
watch
was
it.
that because of that thread on Reset Era?
What was the thread again? Remind me. It might be.
There was a thread where somebody was asking, like, should I buy this perfect grade?
Maybe.
We're talking about paper grade and talking about
Might be.
whatever.
How hard is it to build? Is that what it
Yeah,
was? Yeah, that's what it was. And I was like, what's perfect grade? What
yeah.
is this? How hard could it be?
Super expensive. That's the only thing
Yeah,
holding me back is price.
they're crazy. Yeah, they're crazy expensive.
Like just my
400,
issue,
400 bucks, something like that.
what's
More?
that?
400, 200, 300, 400 bucks, something like that.
No, I don't think they're that much. I could be wrong though. I don't know. I
And
think
then,
that
but then you got to get all the extra stuff, like the battle
you got
damage, weathering
you
stuff.
don't.
If you're gonna do it, you might as well.
Nah, you
I
don't.
would.
Would you?
Well, if I was gonna buy one, I'd go all the way.
My issue is that I love building them and I don't give a shit about about having the finished product.
I see.
I just want to do it, enjoy my time with it, and then give it to
Get rid of this
someone.
monster.
Yeah, I don't want it. But I feel like
Give it to
with perfect grade, I'd be in.
Keenan will take it.
He doesn't want.
So just wait a little while. Your daughter might be interested in.
Well, and I think that's I told you she did that bear guy.
Yep.
And I think that's I have a couple upstairs like just sitting waiting for gifts, waiting as like Christmas time, pull this out.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
Cool. Yeah. I watched what video? There's some unicorn.
Yep.
One. I watched a guy do that, and like it was like every second was a minute. It was like sped up, and it still took friggin' like 11 minutes. And that's not even counting like doing all the extra stuff after you build it if you want to make it look really cool.
Yeah.
He just built it.
They still look pretty cool even.
They looked really cool. There's like in the comments on the YouTube video, it was like, I really want to buy one of these, but I don't know anything about Gundam. People are like, I just want to do this now.
It's true though. That's
weird.
So there's a couple that I'll buy that I buy because I like that machine. But I bought a couple just because they look cool.
Sure. And then it led to YouTube videos on like annual competitions where people make like custom ones.
Dude, it's so cool. Do you know when we go to like the main store in Taiwan, I think it's called White Base.
Right. That's cool. That's a cool name for a store, by the way.
Yeah. Well, White Base is like the name of the colony thing or the show.
Cool.
But you go there and it's all like official Gundam stuff. And so they have like the world, I don't know what they call it, World Gundam, whatever builders tournament running on like a TV in the store. Like it's either promos for the tournament or like images of gunplay that people have made in the past. And there's like a wall that you can go to that has all like add-on stuff, not kits, but like extra weapons and extra loadouts and like funnels for the guy. Like it's really cool. Like the I don't know, custom scene, I guess. And it's something I do not belong to at all, but it's cool that it exists. Like it's really, really cool how much heart so many people put into this thing.
Yeah.
I really appreciate that. And so for me, like as a personal thing, I can't, I don't know. I'm not interested in enough to jump in that deep. But if in the future my kid decided to get into it, then I would gladly jump on board,
It'd be a cool project building one of those things for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. And 100%. I think that it's a
100%.
lot easier to justify it when it's for someone
Now I
else.
want my kid to be into it so that I can buy one. Should I watch some of it? Like, is it? I don't know. I've never watched Gundam.
Build Fighters is amazing.
I don't want to watch Build Fighters. Give me something more.
Build Fighters is too good for you.
Like.
No, but you watch Build Fighters with your kid when she gets older.
Sure, I guess, but I'd have to be into Gundam.
Build Fighters good. I haven't watched anything else. That's the only thing I've seen is Build Fighters.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I'm not into Gundam at all.
Nice.
Yeah. You want to do this thing?
Let's do this thing.
Are you? Did you get the movie one ready too?
No, I only did the games one. I didn't know we were actually doing it
on the fly. We can talk about it as we go.
On the fly. Okay.
Okay. So a big thing trending on Twitter this week was the GameStruck 4. Hashtag Games Truck 4.
Yep.
I don't know where it came from. I don't know what the original whatever, but people were posting 4 games that what was the word that I used? Inspired you
Define You.
Define You.
Yeah, which I
4 games,
still.
and fine. It's just that was the
Yeah, the
directions they were on
trigger. Sure,
Twitter.
fine. Right.
So 4 games that define you as a person. And so
Right.
people are posting like, I don't know, not necessarily their favorite games, but the games that had like some effect on their growth or whatever.
Hmm.
And so what we thought we would do is, did you came up with a list for yourself too?
I did one for you, Keenan, and myself.
Okay, and I did the
Just
same
movies
thing.
I haven't. I don't know.
That's okay. So we talked about the game one. So with video games, what we were going to do is that Tim was going to write his 4, but then I'm going to try to guess Tim's 4, and then not necessarily guess your 4, but like do the 4 that I see in you,
Yeah.
right? Like we've
What's
known
the
each other long
hashtag
enough
called
where you
again? So that I can.
game struck 4. And I guess this was like a branch that came off of Film Struck 4.
Right.
Like I think it started with a movie thing and then moved to video games.
We're not gonna talk about Keenan's.
No, I guess
not.
we can do it with him next week.
Okay. Sure.
That's all I wanted to get on, even for a couple of minutes. Try to hold on, send him a message, and I'll try to get him on too. Come on the show.
Let's see what he says.
I want Keenan to come on the show.
Let's see. Dead air.
You guys want to get off with me?
Is that from a movie you like?
It's from
Is that gonna spoil your picks?
no, it's from Always Sunny.
Oh, okay, right.
Dude, that show is the
I watched
best.
the first episode, by the way.
Yeah. You gotta
It's all right.
So I was talking to Fanny about it. She used to think that the show was stupid. She's like, "You're an idiot. Why do you watch this all the time? It's just people yelling at each other, right?"
Yeah.
And now she loves it because it's totally a character-driven thing. Like
Yeah.
the show itself, like fine, whatever. The hilarity comes from characters acting the way you'd expect them to act.
Right.
It's so good. If anybody wants to get into the show and doesn't want to start at the beginning, I watched an episode after I got home from work today. I was crying. I've seen it like 5 or 6 times,
Yeah.
and I was still crying. The gang dines out. That is, the gang dines out.
Okay.
The 9th episode of the 8th season.
Hmm.
I was crying. It's so good. Again, though, I don't know whether it's just because I know the characters super, super well. Like it's, but it is peak Sunny for sure.
Cool.
Okay, so Game Struck 4. You want me to read this?
You're gonna say your picks for me.
I'm gonna say my picks for you first, and then you tell me if there's any matches.
Okay, got it.
I really struggle with this because I can think of a couple of games above and beyond this.
Okay.
I can think of a couple of games that like
I themed mine for you guys and I themed my own about why they define my gaming interests or
I don't know
why they're important. But anyway, if you want me to go first, I can do, and then you can.
No, it doesn't matter.
Okay.
I got these ready here for you.
All right. Let's see.
Okay, so the 4 games that I feel define Tim. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna go with the obvious one and say Binding of Isaac.
Okay.
Is that on your list or no?
Yeah, that is.
Good. Well, that's good though. If it's a match, that's good, right?
That's good.
And I'm glad I put Binding of Isaac. And so I'm going. Do you want to just hear the list first and then talk about kind of each thing, or do you want me to tell you something?
Talk about each thing.
Okay, so for Binding of Isaac, I there's another game that I took off the list because Binding of Isaac was on here.
Okay.
All right. Because Binding of Isaac is there, I didn't put on Shiren the Wanderer.
Oh, okay. Fair enough.
Right? Because they're somewhat in the same realm.
I gotta say that I forgot about Shiren the Wanderer. But
okay,
that's
well,
fine.
That's fine. All right, and
they
still,
are. You're right. I would have.
And that's one that I think like it's if Binding of Isaac had never become a thing for you, then Shiren would have been it.
Yeah. Well, it encompasses the same type of genre, even, right? So you're right. I think that's how I thought of the list too. I didn't include things that would have been similar to one another.
Sure. So that's the first one.
Mm.
Um, the second one is Super Metroid.
Ooh,
And
you
even
were
if
close on that. I was thinking about it.
yeah. So and that's what I mean. Like, and some of the ones that didn't make the list are probably ones, or hopefully are ones that you said, right?
There's a matching genre game to Super Metroid that is on my
Is
list.
it Castlevania?
Yes.
Oh,
Yep.
Symphony.
Yep.
Yeah. Symphony of the Night. That's right.
Yep.
Shoot. Okay, so that's the same kind of like
Good
Super
though. You're
Metroid
close.
slash Symphony of the Night that is generally in the same realm.
Yeah, it's pretty good. You're pretty good so far.
I put on, and this is so in discussion with you over the past hour, I've said I didn't put it on my list, but Resident Evil 4 is probably on your list, is it not?
It isn't, but it's now that we've been talking about it,
Well,
I
we
feel
talked
like it
about it,
should have
right?
been. Yeah.
Okay, so the other two, I picked Maniac Mansion.
Ooh, okay.
All right.
Interesting.
Um,
Why?
well, because you often talk about it, and I
That's
think that growing up, I think it was pretty big for you in terms of
that
like,
is true.
it kind of deciding what you're into,
Mystery. Yeah,
kind
and
of
a
getting you
game that has a
into,
mystery to it, and
yeah,
that
yeah.
open kind of open world feeling like you can do anything.
And so now this is not exactly the same at all, but in the same realm, one game that I didn't put on because I put Maniac Mansion on was
Mm.
Ghost Trick.
Oh,
Because
yeah. Totally
I
forgot about it too. That's
like
another
I
one.
like Ghost Trick I know is big for you for sure.
Big for you too.
Yeah, it's such a good game, but I didn't want to put on just games that you like a lot. You know what
Right.
I mean? I
No,
wanted it
no,
to
no,
be
no, no.
something more than
Yeah,
that.
yeah, yeah.
But Ghost Trick kind of falls into the same realm as Maniac Mansion.
Yeah, yeah, it has some like yeah, I would say there's crossover to some degree for sure.
And then the last one, this is I don't know this is because of your shirt or what, but it
Yeah.
was for some there was a stage in both of our lives where this was kind of like a big
Uh,
thing. And
yeah.
so I put
Anyhow,
Beatmania 2DX Distorted on this list. Distorted specifically.
I
Because
feel like
when I
yeah.
think of all of them, Distorted is like yours versus
Well,
mine.
because I have a shirt, yeah, and I love that. Yeah, the theme of it. Oh, I mean, I thought about Beatmania 2 for both of us,
Yeah.
and it, in terms of, yeah, that was a tough call.
Tricky because it's a there's a lot of games that we've both played in like a lot of years, right?
That have influenced us a lot. Yeah,
So
yeah. That fits in with a theme of something else that I actually picked.
okay.
So for
So
my
give me
actual
your
picks
list.
mhm, for me, right?
Mhm.
So definitely Binding of Isaac for sure. And the reason I put that on there was sort of it impacted me on a game design integrated with the theme of the game. Both of them I feel like fit together really well, and that really turned me on to games that have the theme and the design well thought out and sort of just matching the way and also even just the theme of that game really appeals to me specifically, like the game designer, like the story behind how that game came about in his life, or where he got the ideas from, are very similar to my own almost. So that's part of the reason why I love that game so much. And yeah, Symphony of the Night. Reason I picked that was because of just that was the first game that turned me on to wow, these sprites are amazing, this art is amazing, and wow, music in a game can be like this phenomenal. The specifically about that game, it was just like that's a soundtrack I would listen to. That's a music soundtrack that I actually listen to from time to time. And that was one of the first ones that I think I really was like, wow, this is what game music can actually be, and that sort of started me listening to a lot of game music, I think, in general. So that's
Are
kind of
you
why I
are you
picked
still
that.
talking about Binding of Isaac?
No, Symphony of the Night.
Okay, sorry.
But I like why did I not actually say that?
No, I don't know. Maybe I
Yeah.
tuned
So
out.
okay. And my third and fourth picks are third is Diablo 2.
That's interesting. I don't know
Yeah,
if I would have. I would never have thought like absolutely huge, but I wouldn't have thought about that.
and sort of encompassing the whole like
Yep.
loot type game, right? Wanting virtual things type element, right? Starting that whole process of like coveting something that's not real. Along with the theme of it too. I think again, anything that's religious themed, I like ate that up, especially in university. So that, and then the last one is StarCraft. That one fits in with the Beatmania thing because of the whole thing around community and competition, right? Like, even though I didn't play a lot of StarCraft to compete,
And Koreans.
yeah, in Korea, right? I forgot about that part. But it got me turned on to the
I
whole.
want to change one of my games to detention.
But yeah, like it turned me on to competitive gaming and watching people play and watching people like that whole thing. So, that was a big influencer for sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, the other ones you picked were pretty like Resident Evil 4, sure, like definitely. Like Beatmania 100%. Just if this had more only 4 things,
Filmstruck 10, I would have had them all.
yeah. All right, let's go with you. You're gonna like this.
All right.
In no particular order. Katamari Damacy.
Whoa,
Damacy.
weird.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll take it, but I never would have thought that.
And the reason I picked it for you was one, like it just you have this interest in games that are centered around a concept. I feel like you like games with a very like well thought out concept, and I think that and the music of the game are both major reasons, or had both had fairly large impact on you. The soundtracks. I try to keep it similar thematically to my picks. So something about music. So for sure that Nier for theme and story.
Cool. I didn't think of that either, but I dig it.
It's gotta. If it's not on your list, that's crazy.
Yeah, you know what? I didn't even think about it.
Because you talk about the story and the importance of the story and the themes and Nier.
Holy shit! You know what? Like, I didn't make a list for myself.
You didn't?
No, I thought I did, and I'm looking at it, and I didn't.
Oh shoot. Okay.
I mean, yes, Nier is on.
Earth Defense Force number 3.
Oh shit!
Fun with jank is the theme of that pick.
Yeah.
You and your jank, and that
I love it
perfectly. Okay. Am I nailing it?
It's got to be like a certain type of jank, though. It's weird how like it has to get it right. How do you explain that? Like the difference between like, oh, this game's janky, and another one you're like, oh, this game's janky. It's amazing. Like what's the hook there? What's the difference between those two? I couldn't.
You're talking something that's so hard to quantify.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like you think about something like Ace of Seafood should have been amazing, but it just wasn't.
No. I mean, it's got to still be a well-designed game in a way. Do you know what I mean? Like there's got to be some aspect of that's maybe not. You're like, no.
Well, no, but there's got to be something to it. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Like I can't think of a game that's super janky that is garbage that I really love. Like it's got to be decent.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. The last one, I wonder if you could ever guess this. You probably can't. It's on PS2.
Hold on.
If that helps you.
Just when you said you couldn't guess this, I just immediately thought of a game for PS1. A game I haven't thought about in a long time.
This is my favorite game to associate with you. Does that help? It's probably completely unwarranted, but
I want to go to.
A good reason why I picked it.
Hold on. I'm trying to remember what that PS1 game is.
Yeah, my favorite.
What's that game where you like give massages in the Ferris wheel?
Tulip or something? No,
Tulip is
massages. Yeah, massages. Are you talking Star Ocean or something weird?
No.
Massages in a Ferris
Incredible
wheel.
Crisis.
Oh, that's.
You remember Incredible Crisis?
Yeah.
I don't know when you were like, you'll never be able to pick this.
No,
you'd never be able to guess. Like, I don't know why my mind went straight to Incredible Crisis.
Sure,
but I guess that fits the same.
This is an RPG.
You know what I mean? PS2 RPG.
Mm-hmm. You should be able to guess it at this point. I associate this game with you big time.
PS2 RPGs are not all that
good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. I still pick this for you.
PS2 RPG. Dark Cloud 2?
Yes. And I'll tell you why. I want to call this the birth of grind. This is freaking you and grinding in games, like just encapsulated for me. Watching you grind that game. And like maybe falling asleep while doing it at some point. It's like that's the association I have.
That's
So there
fair.
you go.
That's fair. I like those. That's very cool.
Yeah.
I have to think. I have to think about my list now.
Yeah. Keenan's my picks for Keenan. I don't know. I feel like I don't. Keenan's a friggin' mystery to me.
You want to do it
Some
anyways?
way.
Let's do it anyways.
All right.
Because he can't defend himself, and then he
That's
can
right.
wait
We can
until
mock him.
let's do it. Because
All right.
mine are, I don't know. Okay, here's mine for Keenan. Okay.
Mhm.
One of them, I don't know if it's because it's on my mind, but Yakuza 2,
Yeah.
Suikoden 2. Suikoden 2, I feel is bang on. Like that's it. Like he played the shit out of it. He
totally
is
forgot.
in love with it. He like has the piano sheet music for it.
Oh yeah, Frank. My picks are gonna be crap compared to
Like
yours.
dude has all this stuff.
Right.
He is super big into Shadow of the Colossus.
Oh,
So I might say that. And again, I'm sure that I'm forgetting things,
Mhm.
but these are the ones that just I thought of right away.
Yep.
And then the fourth one, word for word, what I wrote down was some bullshit Arrow gave visual novel I've never heard of.
Yeah.
Right?
Do I have one like that? I do have one like that on the list, but it's
All
not
right.
quite. It won't fall under that category.
But you get what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Actually, you know what? For myself, I got to think about this. But two games that just
You're
popped
gonna
in my
like.
head right
Yeah,
now.
I know one of them. I know
What?
one of them. It's on Keenan's list. Long live the Queen.
No, but
No?
I like that though. Is that the bullshit Arrow gay one?
But it's not really, right?
What about no Bayonetta? I might put on mine.
Mm.
And
Yeah,
maybe
okay.
maybe Tokyo Jungle.
Oh, yeah.
Both of those games, maybe. I don't know. I'd have. It's funny that I didn't do it for myself. I totally forgot. I'm sorry. Okay, Keenan's. Tell me what you got for Keenan. So
These
that
aren't so
one.
great. I feel Long live the Queen.
Yeah.
And I kind of cheated because I looked on his Steam profile. He's played an insane number of hours in an NBA 2K, and I think sports game
Wait, NBA
Sports-
2K on.
on PC
No, I'm saying on like you'd put that on his list of like defining games
because he's such a sports freak. He's
for video games though. Like I don't
didn't know that, but he is.
I don't connect.
I think it. I don't.
sports games.
I don't, but I do.
Sure.
So
That's like the vicious D Keenan raps thing.
what? I love that image that just popped into my head when you said that phrase.
What?
It's just Steve Keenan. What?
Yeah.
I don't explain yourself.
Isn't I thought his like name on Raptors Journal or whatever
Oh, is
the
it?
website is Vicious D Keenan.
No,
I
that
think it's-
sounds amazing.
I think it's Vicious D Keenan Skills.
Really?
I think so.
That's the name of this episode.
unless,
He's not in the episode.
unless I'm like misremembering it.
No, it doesn't matter if you did or not. It's phenomenal. Again, cheating a little bit. He has his.
That doesn't count then.
He has 130 hours in Portal 2.
What?
130
Wow.
hours. I don't know, dude. We're gonna ask him next week.
Weird.
But it's a good
He
game.
must have just left it on.
Maybe.
I left one of the Ease games open. And so there's like 70 hours on it that I didn't play it.
Let's see.
But
This one,
I didn't leave it open. What happened is that like it crashed, but the game like was closed, but it was like playing. It
right.
was still on, you know.
And the last one, I think you will agree on this one. Dead or Alive. I don't care which one. 3D fighters and fan service. The friggin' Keenan right there.
Yeah, I can see that. I
Right.
can see that.
Yeah, man.
I like it.
My list.
I like it. You know why I didn't come up with my own my
You
own
forgot. You weren't
list?
thinking.
No, because remember we talked about maybe doing Filmstruck 4 as well.
Hmm.
Like do the same thing but for movies.
Yeah.
And so what I did is I made my list of movies, and then I forgot to do my list of games.
Oh, I see. You just crossed some wires there.
Do you want to just because this is done here? Can you think of what 4 movies come in your head for me like right away? Where
For
you're like,
you?
yep, this.
I can't
this.
think of that many for you, unfortunately. I was
Okay.
thinking of them.
The only you know what I struggled
got
with you
one.
and I struggled with you and Kenan too. You know what movie? I only had one movie written down for you. You know what it is?
Pee-wee's Big Adventure.
Oh shit, that's a good one. No,
Yeah.
The Thing.
Yeah, that was the one I thought. Yeah,
Yeah,
it would have been on my list. Pee-wee's
yeah.
Big Adventure, The Thing, Ghostbusters, and then I
Oh,
was trying to think.
Ghostbusters, of course.
I was trying to think of another one, but I couldn't. That's probably something.
Flower of Flesh and Blood.
But Meatball Machine. That's my pick for you.
No, I've never even seen Meatball Machine. I've had it available to me for many years, and I just
Here's one.
it
Here's
looks so
one
bad.
what we can both agree on is on both of our lists. You know which movie that is?
Mr. Vampire.
No. Well, yes, actually, true.
Shut up! No,
Yes,
Mr.
yes.
Vampire.
No.
It has
I
to
was
be.
it's because I was thinking of something else. There's another movie that
Like
I think we can
like
both
a joke
agree
one or no?
that impacted us in a major way.
A joke one or no?
Whether it's a joke or not, it impacted us in a major way.
What country is it from?
It's U.S.
Saving Silverman?
No, you like that movie? I don't really like it that much. Greasy Strangler, dude.
I wouldn't put it in my films.
It impacted us though. I don't think it's a
guess
good
so.
movie.
It doesn't have the years behind it that some others
No.
maybe do though.
It will at some point. Yeah,
Are you ever gonna watch that piece of shit again?
doesn't mean it can't be on this list.
That's a good movie though.
Yeah, it's really
Kind
good.
of.
Everyone watch it. Everyone out there, check out The Greasy Strangler. You can thank us later.
Bullshit artist.
Bullshit artist.
What does he call the hootie tootie disco cutie?
That's the only thing I can remember from that whole movie now.
Shit.
Yeah.
That movie was messed up.
The trailer is the best part of it.
Just like I'll eat your fucking hearts was
Yeah.
the
Yeah,
Tim and
from
Eric's $1 billion
Tim and Eric.
movie.
Yeah, it's like the trailer of Greasy Stranglers. You just need to see that.
So
No,
I'm gonna tell you my film struck 4, even though I haven't thought about it for a long time. It's just these were the 4 that kind of hit, and some of them I haven't seen in a while. Some of them I wouldn't even
have
say are
one
my
pick
favorite
for you.
movies,
One
but,
pick.
I hope that you know one of them. Like
Well-
one of them is a lock.
One of them should be Mr. Vampire.
One of them is Mr. Vampire for sure.
The other
But
should be.
but there's a bigger one than that.
I don't know if it's a bigger one, but I think Dirty Work. You always mention it.
No, Dirty Work's okay, but
Okay.
it's not up there.
All right.
As soon as I say it, you're gonna be like, "Oh shit, of course."
Mhm.
Phantom of the Paradise.
Oh, of course. That should be on mine.
Yeah. Do you know what I was thinking about doing? Is buying like a Phantom of the Paradise poster, getting it framed, and putting it up in the basement.
Dude,
Yeah,
that'd be great.
yeah. I've been thinking about doing like movie posters down here instead. I think that'd be really cool.
And I think anyone out there interested in, well, I really liked it, but De Palma is on Netflix, and I love listening to De
Yeah,
Palma
it was a
talk
good
about.
movie. I
was
want to
cool.
hear. I want to hear more people talk about their craft.
Hmm.
Like I feel like even if you're not really into it,
Hmm.
if you if you go
What?
I searched for Vicious D Keenan skills,
Yeah.
and it's just been sitting. The Google results have just been sitting up on my computer, and I haven't looked at them. And the second one is from RaptorsHQ.com, and the summary of the page is in a 2-part look at basketball statistics. Vicious D takes a look at how basketball statistics.
His name's just Vicious D.
Yeah, Vicious D Keenan skills.
The Keenan's. It is?
I think so.
Or are you just adding the Keenan skills to it?
No, I think that's what it used to be. It says Vicious D, but I don't know. I'm gonna click through. There's some
Oh,
good.
man.
There's some good interviews of Keenan doing.
I know, I
interviews
watched
with
some of
his
them.
guys. It's good stuff. It's really impressive.
Yeah, legitimately, it's cool.
Yeah, yeah. It's cool because he doesn't. He hardballs people. It's great.
Does he?
Yeah, he's asking questions that like nobody else is gonna ask people. I don't know.
Yeah.
I gained a lot of respect for that guy when I saw those videos. So Phantom of the Paradise, Mr. Vampire, those two I feel are like 100% lock. Like you can't unshakable.
Yes.
They belong there for sure.
I feel stupid for not having picked either of them.
You picked Mr. Vampire.
I agree with them, but I didn't. Well, that's after we talked about it. But
Oh.
if I thought
Uh,
about it, I would have picked them.
The other two, to a lesser degree, and these ones may be able to be changed,
Mhm.
but they're still like way up there. One of them, Speed Racer.
Oh, wow, cool.
And the other one is Ping Pong.
I still haven't seen that.
But if you think about movies that represent a person,
Mhm.
I feel like those 4 are pretty like You watch those four, and that's gonna give you a good sense of who I am and what I'm into.
Yeah, definitely.
I feel like they are all um, pretty different, but also somewhat similar in a lot of ways.
Hmm. Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, like yeah, for sure.
I'm
No,
sure. I'm sure that there's more than that. I'm sure that there's
yeah, if it's
a
hard to
bunch of.
pick four, but speaking of the thing though, I found out there's a commentary track by with Kurt Russell and what's his name, the director. Oh man, I feel stupid not remembering.
Carpenter.
Carpenter. Yeah, so it'd be cool to listen to that while you watch the movie. So maybe next time I watch it, I'll
I
listen.
saw this week. I saw. It's interesting that we're talking about the thing, um, but the Japanese movie poster for the thing.
Whoa, that sounds awesome already.
This one that I found is not very good. Where did I see it? I saw one picture and it looked really cool, like really cool, and I can't find it now. I'll take a look for it and see, and if I can find
Mm.
it, I'll post it somewhere. But it's like on a snowscape, and then there's like I don't know, the dog and like fucked up whatever whatever stuff like coming out of the. Man,
Oh,
I wish I could find it. I have no idea where I saw it. Maybe on like a thread or something somewhere.
oh,
I'll see if I can find it.
neat. Yeah, I'd like to see that. All right,
Yeah, I feel like
leave it there.
we're good.
Yeah.
Um, any final things that you want to check out? I don't know.
Nah, I'm done.
All right, we'll talk to you later.
All right. See you next week.